Hey, yet again, what is going on YouTube? Okay, this segment of what I'm doing today is random thoughts I have. Random thoughts in the dreams that help me think outside the box. I, so, people, you're going to try to say, I'm a fake, I'm a fraud, I never seen this, he's never seen it, there's no way he could, he's just never seen it, there's no way he could. So, but what I seen, I'll tell you what I seen. And if somebody really, I'm not a violent person, but if somebody said you did not see that, and they were calling me a liar, I think I'd get pissed because I did see it, and nobody would ever believe it. But what I seen, let me tell you about the dream I had. The dream I had, I fell asleep. It was a couple days, a day or two before Thanksgiving, or a day or two after Thanksgiving. But it was in November, and I don't remember how many years ago. But the first, when I was in the dream, the first part of the dream, and I can control my dreams. I've been taught how to control my dreams, so I know how to do it, and I've done it. But the thing is, in this dream, it was many different dreams in one. Many different dreams in one. There's a bunch of shit, just a dream, hey, and then a new dream, hey, and then a new dream. But in this dream, the first thing I saw was a white background, as white as a cloud, and on it appeared Old English letters, and they seemed like they came from nowhere. It appeared on the white cloud in black, Old English letters, and it was written. It was the meaning of life, and it was written in today's word, in like today's words, not like stuff you see in the Bible, like he, thou, this shit, whatever. Fucking, this was written in today's term, and I read it, and it was in the form of like a simile or a metaphor, like the form of like a simile or a metaphor or something like that. Like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink it, and then you think and you don't understand it, but then somebody tells you like what it means, and you're like, oh, I understand now. And you get when they use a simile or a metaphor, you get a bigger click in your head when you actually understand what it means. I don't know if that's the truth, but when I read and I read it, it was a paragraph long with maybe 2 to 3 to 4 or 5 words in each paragraph, maybe 4 to 5 lines long. So there's 3 to 4 or 5 words per line, and there's like 5 lines, and it's a paragraph. It's a short paragraph, and so I read it, and I said to myself, "Whoa, this is the meaning of life." And all of a sudden, I felt like, why have I ever been afraid to die? And I questioned that, like, why have I ever been afraid to die? And all of a sudden, when I said it's the meaning, I had this continual understanding, not the nanosecond you get when you remember. I'm talking, you get that nanosecond, but it's over continual time. It's over continual seconds. It don't last a nanosecond like, oh, I remember his name. Clicks in your head for a nanosecond, not even a full second. This lasted like that feeling you get when you remember. I had that feeling rapidly happening in my head. And like I was remembering some stuff in my, like I was taking in some type of information, or like I don't know how to describe it. I call it continual understanding. Continual. And Einstein spoke of this shit. Einstein said he was understanding as fast as rain came down in a thunderstorm. What's that mean? It means that he was understanding at a rapid pace, and you don't even have to know what you're understanding. It's like we got it built into our brains, but we don't know how to access it. And if that's the truth, I think if you had the meaning of life, the little simile or metaphor, quote, the little paragraph, and somebody read it, like say they had Alzheimer's, you could read them the meaning. And if they were good of heart, well, nobody could ever know that. Nobody but God should know the meaning of life. Nobody should. I believe that, because what is the fear? the meaning of life strips the fear of death from anyone who reads it, then fucking what I'm getting at is like people have to be afraid to die. You have to be afraid to die. It keeps the people from doing tragic things. Because you could have this, I could go say, hey, this is the meaning of life and give it to somebody. I don't have it. I don't remember it. And I'll tell you that here in a second. But the thing is uh, like I understood it. It was just crazy. But the thing, if somebody bad of heart understood it, what would and they were murderer. Say it was a murderer and he got a hold of this information. He's not afraid to die now, and he wants to take out 1,000 people at one time, and he's not afraid because what's the worst they can do to him? Kill him? He's not afraid to die. So fear has to be installed in people, and it has to be the fear of death because it keeps them. Because nobody wants to die. But me personally, I don't want to live forever. This world, I want to do something while I'm here. I want to make a change while I'm here. But some people, they go, I don't know. But listen, in that dream, when I read it, I said, oh, this is the meaning of life. And then I understood it. And then I try to say, I can't wait to tell my father. But as soon as I said tell, the words were stripped from me. Like the words, like I didn't have the words no more. I had the understanding. I had the fear of death taken away, but it took the words, my meaning. I think everybody's got their own meaning in life. I don't know if that's the truth, but everybody's got their own meaning. Everybody's got their own purpose. And the thing is, when I read it, I'm like, well, that's me in life. And then I had a continual understanding. And I said, I can't wait to tell. And when I said tell, all of a sudden it's a different part of the dream, and I forgot what it said. But I was left with the understanding, like I said, and the fear of death was taken. But I used to question God when I was little. I used to think about death so much, like I have to die someday, and am I just going to die and just be gone forever? Like not heaven, not hell, nothing. Because I didn't believe in God. I was like an atheist almost. Even though I went to church, I still strongly did not believe in God. And so let me get to a part of that dream, and you may understand why I went to the black, like the very last part of the dream, why I went to this part of the dream. You may understand it. I hope somebody out there can write me and tell me what the fuck is going on with me, because I don't understand, and I just want to know what the fuck is going on with me. I don't know nothing. I just want to know, me personally, what is going on with me. Why did I see this? Why? And in that dream, let me tell you something. Like in that dream, I seen the meaning of life at the beginning. And then the next part of the dream, the only parts of this dream that are in order, because it's been so long and I don't really talk about it, is the beginning and the end. Everything else is out of order. But what I seen, I was in the field, right? And I was going up in outer space. I was being gently sucked up into outer space, almost like I was floating. And my buddy was being lifted up with me. But I told my buddy, I can remember in the dream, I told my buddy, don't go all the way up, dude, because what if we go into outer space and we can't breathe? Let's come back down for a minute. So we tried to come back down, and but we were still floating. Like as we walked, we were almost jumping, like because we were floating. I don't know. But he hid on top of a roof of a church, and I jumped I jumped across the fence, jumped across another fence, and was in between two churches and got shot dead in the forehead. And when it was weird, because when I was dead on the ground, I heard him say, "Did you get the rest?" And I always felt like it was a cop that killed me in that dream. And the thing is, after that part of the dream, I went to my own funeral. I was sitting in the chair. I was sitting in this chair in the very back. And I look ahead and there's a coffin. It's open. And there's two people standing by the coffin. So I walk up to the coffin and I see my mom and I see my sister Elena. So I look down into the coffin and it's me. But I'm only maybe 70 pounds heavier. And it was me. And I tried to tell my mom, like, I'm okay. I'm right here and I'm okay. But it came out, he's okay. He'll be all right. And she started crying and she said, no, Danny, it's not all right. So I must have been seeing it through my nephew's father's eyes, in which his name is Daniel Craig. And there was another part of the dream. This is all out of order. Remember it. Just the beginning, what I seen, the meaning, I seen that, and where I go at the end. Them are only for sure two things in order. But the thing is I was laying on me and my boy Gary. We've been friends since like maybe third or fourth grade, and I'm 33 now. I was born in 1983, September 10th, on the eve of a great tragedy. But I'll get along to that later on in this segment. But so I'm laying in the bed, and we used to do that as kids, just lay in the bed and watch cartoons or something, or whatever we was watching. So we're laying in bed watching TV, but we're grown adults, and it's in my mom's room at the house she lives in. So all of a sudden, I see this bird at the corner of my eye. It's a white bird, and it's inside a circle, and the circle is so yellow, it's fluorescent gold, like. It looks like fluorescent gold, like you had the most beautiful piece of gold and was just shining the brightest light on it. But it did not take away from the image of the bird. Like you could see it clearly, even though it was shining through the gold, like the gold circle that it was perfectly in the middle of. And I seen it. And I tried to tell Gary, like, hey, Gary, look at this. You see that? And he didn't see it. And all of a sudden, it flew into me. On Facebook, I wrote it flew through me, but no, it flew into me. And I woke up, and then I went to another part of the dream. Now, let me back up and tell you what I seen in this dream. This ain't in order. I seen a face, two faces. On the right side, it was a circle with a triangle top, I think. I can't remember if it was a circle with a triangle top or a circle with a triangle top that on the bottom. Because it could go like this and down, or it could go like that and up. But I don't know which position the circle and the triangle were on. I have no idea. But on the right side of the face was like a face that you would get in a play syllabus. Say you go to a play and they have the faces of the play, like the happy face, the sad face, the crying face, mischief face, like just the little faces. They look like masks that people would wear, but it's just they use it in like on Broadway and shit. I don't know why, but on it's like one of the pictures you see in a play syllabus. I don't know how to explain it. So on that side was a play syllabus face. I'll just say that. And it was happy. It was smiling. It was happy, just happy. And on the left side was a king in a crown of crosses. And he looked fucking pissed. Looked pissed. And then the other face was happy. So I don't understand them two. I don't understand that either. And then I remember in that same dream, I went to my old school, but they were testing us somehow. They were putting us through these tests, and I don't understand this either. Like, the first thing I seen, okay, I go to the school, I sit down amongst a bunch of men, and they're studying us. And I fucking, I remember, I remember sitting down and it was my turn. So I got up and somehow it was a virtual reality type game because I felt like I was the actual game inside the game, even though it didn't look like reality. Like, because the first thing I seen was it took step on three. It was three things that I was being evaluated by these people for. And the first thing I seen was an asteroid, and it was floating in space, in the heavens, floating in the heavens like not like an angel, but it was floating in the heavens, and it was floating in outer space. So I didn't fuck with it. Even I can control my dreams, so I didn't fuck with it. I just let it be. And then it switched over to another part, and that asteroid looked like an Xbox 360 game. So it looks like, I don't know what the connection between that is. But the other part of the dream that kicked in after that, I was still in the same room. I got up to get tested again. Well, this time, it looks like a Nintendo game, but it's war. It's like a Contra game. Like there's a million things around the screen and you're shooting a million bullets trying to kill it. It looked like war, but it was made for Nintendo. So it's like an old war. Like an old war we've been through. Because Nintendo's old, and it was a war game they were playing. I was stuck in. So I didn't do nothing then either. And then the third thing I seen, I was walking through this field. I don't know if I looked to the left or right first. I don't know which way I looked. But I remember I did look at the sheep. And I looked over to the other side, and it looked like the Messiah. It looked like Jesus Christ. And he looked down at me, and he smiled. And all of a sudden, it felt like real reality. It felt like I was living in that certain part of the dream. Like I had woke up, and I was a dog fucking herding the sheep and shit. That's what it felt like. Like the Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is my best friend. My confidant. My fucking, I can trust in him. But the thing is, I went straight ahead, running on all fours. I like to think, I know what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to keep the herd in place and not let them go astray. And so when I ran forward, I like to think I created my own path, because you don't go left or right. You always go straight ahead. That's the road you want to take. Not left or right, not left towards this or right towards God. You want to go straight ahead to create your own path. So I seen them faces. He was wearing a crown of crosses, and he was looking pissed. He had a frown right here. You could see the frown. And the other side of the face was just a happy face, like a play syllabus happy face. Like I know a play syllabus only tells you I'm talking about the pictures on the play syllabus, the little faces, like the happy, sad, crying, whatever. Well, the happy face was on the right, and the king's mad face was on the left, and it was a crown of crosses he was wearing. So, another part of the dream, and this scared me. I went up. I was in I don't know where I was. Only thing I know is that everybody in the government was in this one building looking at me. And I was in front of everyone. And Obama comes up, and I look on stage, and I see Joe Lieberman. And his hair is so red, it's fluorescent orange. So I figured him as the devil. And then Obama comes up and shakes my hand. Well, he whispers in my ear, "You are the devil's son." And I said, "No, I'm not the devil's son. I believe in Jesus. I believe in Jesus." It was making me go crazy when he said that one simple thing to me, like, "You are the devil's son." And I was going crazy because I don't believe. Sometimes, really, I don't even know if I believe in the devil. I believe in God, but I don't know if I believe in the devil. But he has to be real, though. I think the devil is man, and God is a being. He's a being. He don't have to be. He's alive. He's a living being. And the devil is more of a person or the things like the devil on her shoulder or the angel on her shoulder. One, you could go with the one sending you down the wrong path, get you in trouble, or go with the other one where you can make it, actually not fall into the whatever you were doing at the time. But I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's any more to that dream, because there is. Oh yeah, the last part. Okay. When I said when I shook Obama's hand, he called me the devil's son, and I said, no, I believe in Jesus, and I was going crazy. It switched right after that to a different part of the dream. And all of a sudden, I was in black. I couldn't see, but I knew it was black. And I didn't have no body. Like Ezekiel talks about the senses. Mouth, nose, hands, like feel, touch, smell, shit, stuff like that. And he talks about the senses. Well, if that last part of my dream, I consider it hell. To me, it was hell. And the reason I say that is because I was in black. I had nothing. I had no eyes. I didn't have a body. I had no hands, so I could not touch. I had no eyes, so I could not see. I had no mouth to breathe or lungs to breathe in fresh air. I had no way to hear, even though it strips you of all your senses of the body, because you have no body, no physical body in this place. The only thing you have is your conscious thought, and that's where your soul dwells. Only thing you have is your conscious thought, and you're stuck in black. It's like solitary confinement for the soul. And I could see why I don't know if it was purgatory, if that's the right word, or like where you have to go for so many days before to look at your life before you actually make it into heaven or whatever, or hell or wherever. I don't know if it was that. I don't know if it was the hall, or I don't know if it was actually the place like Hades. I don't know. I think there's different stages to hell. I don't know. I'm not sure. Only thing I know is I read the Bible and it said the small script in the bottomless pit, and it scared the fucking shit out of me. I did not want to read it. Like, way I was thinking, what if the small script is actually the meaning of life in today's term? And where was I getting at with that? In the bottomless pit, you don't feel like you're falling, but you just feel like there is dark all around you, and you don't have a body. Only thing you can do is think. And after 3 days, it would feel like 3,000 years, because this is a place where time does not exist. Time don't exist in this place. The only way to keep time in this place is to count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, and do that continually to know what time it is. But eventually, you're going to end up losing track of time, and it's going to feel like 3,000 years in that motherfucker. And like I said, you have no body. It's like solitary confinement for the soul. I think your consciousness is your soul. And I think it's mind, body, and consciousness. So, because through your mind, your body reacts. But what we see with our own body, it affects our consciousness. It's like what we see within our own eyes. It affects the consciousness. It affects the mentality of that you have. Like, I'm getting way off point now, but I think Obama is the Antichrist. I think these are really out there views. I'm just wishing somebody could get a hold of this and say, hey, bro, this happened to me too. I seen The Secret of Happiness or some shit. Not be like, hey, I seen the meaning of life. It's fucking crazy. But I don't know nobody like that. I don't know who ever had an experience like I have. So I don't know who to talk to, and I can't tell a person I meet this shit, because if I told them, they'd think I was crazy. And So I never speak it to no one. The only ones I've ever told was a few people in my family, and they thought I was crazy. So, but I know what happened to me, and you're nobody's gonna call me a liar on that. Like, you did not see that. Nobody's gonna call me a fucking liar, and I swear it. I swear it to my soul. I seen that. I'll never forget it. And even though I got killed in the dream, and it was scary, I wasn't scared. I was in a sense of comfortability. I was in a sense of like, I was comfortable. I wasn't afraid or nothing. It was just happening. I wasn't afraid. It was weird. I was comfortable in the whole dream. Like God used the sense of comfortability to help me through the dream, so I wouldn't, so I wouldn't fear what I was seeing in the dream. But I think that could be altered. Like maybe I don't. What if I die by getting shot? And people on YouTube look at this maybe in like a year or two from now, and I'm dead, and they're like, "This is the guy that got shot by that cop in somewhere." I'm not gonna say, but I don't know. Fucking, and cops are cool with me. I'm cool with cops. I mean, there's good ones and there's bad ones. Like the bad ones, they're cowboys. They take the law into their own hand. But the good ones, they go by the code and they treat people with respect. So, anyway, I don't know. Like, the dream was fucked up. There's more to it than that. But, I don't know. If anybody can just write a comment and like tell me like why, if you ever had an experience like this where you seen, not have a dream like a regular dream about anything. I'm talking about a real dream where you could read in your dream and you seen something that you've never seen before. And it was crazy because, like I said, I used to think about death all the time. I used to think one day I have to die. And like I said, I didn't really believe in God. I didn't believe in anything. I wanted to, even though like I said, I was going to churches, and I went to church, and church is cool, but I never really believed in God. I was trying to, but for myself, I could never really believe because I felt like I always needed proof. And then I had that shit in my dream happen to me, and that was all the proof I needed. I believe in God more than I ever have in my life, and I know He's real. I know He is real. So, and what I'm thinking, like, I got a lot of different outlooks on stuff. Like the kingdom of heaven. What if it was a real castle at one time on earth? What if it was a real kingdom? It just happened to be called heaven. And the Lord to the kingdom was Jesus Christ Himself. And there was a big battle for the kingdom. There was a battle between good and evil, between the kingdom of heaven and another castle of whatever happened, like another sector of people. So the thing is, the battle happened, and Jesus, He triumphed in battle, and then He became the Lord and the Savior to the kingdom. And that's how that happened. I honestly think that Jesus might have lived on, had kids. Like the Da Vinci Code, they talk about shit like Jesus and Mary Magdalene were lovers. No, okay. What if they were brother and sister? Does anybody ever think about that? That means that His blood is also hers. And she can have kids and live on the bloodline even though they won't go by the last name. And even if they were married, she could still have kids. She gave birth to him. Well, no, she didn't give birth to him. If they got married together, she wouldn't be his mom. But I don't know what I believe in because I stretch the box. Like what I'm saying is, I believe in what I know for certain, and I question a lot of things about religion. I question a lot. But when I read it, I understand it and it scares me. So I don't ever read it. Like, I call it the spear of destiny. When you know too much about your own fate, that's the spear of destiny right there. You don't want to know too much about your own fate because it will fuck with you. If that is really my fate to die by a gunshot, remember the one in front of the gun lives forever. Like Kendrick say, the one in front of the gun lives forever. So, I don't know. I just had to get that off my head. Had to get it off my mind. I just hope I can get some views and people understand or just write me and tell me what's going on because I have no idea and sometimes it scares me. And I've seen other shit too. I've seen catastrophes. I've seen catastrophes happen in my dream. I've seen a catastrophe by the sun, a catastrophe by gravity, a catastrophe by water, and a catastrophe by these people in green suits with AK-47s and gas masks on. And they were taking everybody out of their house, taking them to the street and just killing them dead in the street. No asking, no nothing. Just pull them out of their house, shoot them in the street. And what I was thinking, what if that was like, what if terrorists went to war with us? They say a bunch of them united in the different countries around the world, and they came to the U.S. on American soil to fight. And they bombed the shit out of us. And when they killed half the government and half the people in our nation, they came here and killed the people to rid the people from the nation. So there would not be no more Americans, no more nothing. It'd be land they can conquer and take over. And it's funny because I get into Nostradamus. I also get into the Bible. But Nostradamus was supposed to be a prophet himself. And I never had a dream to see shit. Like, I wonder why this shit's happening to me. I don't think I'm nobody but regular old Joe Smo, you know what I mean? I don't think I'm special. But I know not everybody sees shit like that. So it had to be meant for me. And I don't understand it. I don't know. But I'm glad I seen it. And not one person should know the meaning. That should be in God's hands. Not one person should know that. I think the meaning of life is the key to getting out of hell. I think that's the key. If you know the meaning, what if God has the meaning of life and the devil has the meaning of death? So, have anybody ever thought about that? Like, maybe God. But I tend to think there's one God. Like, they say fear God, but then they also say God is good. So but I had somebody give me a real good idea today. They could fear God because he's powerful. He has so much power, they fear him because they don't know what he's going to do to them. He's got power like that. He can do whatever he wants. But I think that God was man at one time. I think that quote, I am Alpha, I am Omega, really states, I am God, I am man. I think that's what it stands for. I am God, I am man. Alpha, I am Omega. And then I have another one, I say. It's, I don't read the Bible. I'm not a Bible thumper. I don't go to church every day. I tend to think if I live my life if I live a positive life and I just want to do me and live. That's all I want to do. But I don't know. This shit is crazy. I'm up late night getting this stuff on video, and I hope somebody watches this, and because I'm tore up. When I talk about it, it's a lot easier to say it to myself in the camera than to tell somebody. Because when I get in front of somebody, I want to cry. I really want to cry, and it makes me cry every time I talk about it. I don't like talking about it, but I'm putting it on YouTube, so I'll never have to talk about it again. But I don't know.
there's a lot of other things that I question. I question Einstein's theory. This is weird. Like, I see everything religious as science. I see everything science as religion. It's weird. That's how I see shit. Like, take it for granted. Okay, we're having a solar eclipse. It's only because we're having a blood moon. But it's only because this falls because like this passes over this. And they're aligning this certain way for it to happen like that. So science says, hey, you know what? I answered that question. This is why it's happening like that. Because this is moving this way and this is moving that way. Or religion comes in like, hey, you know what? If it wasn't for God, none of this will be here. God created that to happen that way so you could see it the way you should. It might be prophecy for the end of the world. It might be something different than that. But what you see in the sky that you can mark off as just natural due to science, you got to remember God had a part to play in that. When God created everything, you got to like, it's weird. When he created everything, I forgot where I was going with that, but I guess you got the gist of it. But I don't know. I got a lot of ideas. Like, and tell me this: why will man be the only thing to ever extinct itself? Like, all these other creatures of Earth have been extinct, like the dinosaurs at least, been extinct due to the natural causes of God, like asteroids and shit like that. But the thing is, why will man be the only thing on this earth that's ever lived on this earth that will extinct itself? They got bombs of mass destruction. They could lit off they could have a bomb that would take out the whole world. Or what if they had a bomb that they hit the moon with, threw our tides off, threw our water off? You know what I mean? Because if the moon no longer exists, our water is in shambles, and so are our nights. Our nights will be not good, and I don't know. I just don't want to go there. But the thing is, I've seen 4 catastrophes. All this shit is on my mind. It's coming so fast. I've seen 4 catastrophes. One by the sun. It was so hot, I had to take all my clothes off beside my shorts. I was in my house with a couple of my family members, and it was so hot, we had to take the windows out of the house just to get a cool breeze. Because I guess the electric wasn't working. I guess because we had to open up all the windows, and we have air conditioners. Because usually when I have a dream, it tends to revolve around what I already know or what I have already learned. But in some dreams, I do things that I had never known that I do automatically. Like, I don't know, but where was I going with that? Yeah, I forgot. I'll get back to it. But I seen that shit. Nobody would ever believe me. My name is Philip Roy Smith, and nobody would ever believe me. I'm 33, and I don't know what's going on with me. I don't need help. I can't go to my psychiatrist like, hey, you know what I seen? Huh. Then he's going to be like, hey, you know what I see in your near future? A trip to the fucking nut ward, boy. You need to get on your medicine. I've been on I take medicine, and I have mental problems. I'm not retarded, not at all. It's just I have social anxiety. I have schizoaffective disorder or some shit, and bipolar. So I don't know, like, I'm not crazy. I'm perfectly sane. I can hold down a conversation with anybody, and I don't go out in public talking this shit. I just wanted to get it out here, maybe see if the world could hear me. And I got so many things I'd like to talk about, but I just need to get them out. I can only get them out as I think. not in perfect order. But, and like, yeah, it's just weird. I don't know. Like, what if, and another thought that got me, what if black space, like when you get out when you get out of fucking Earth, like when you go up, when you go into black space and you're in space or whatever and it's black all around you, it's weird because I don't think you see stars. Because I had a dream where I jumped all the way up into outer space, and when I was looking up, I seen the moon. And I was getting real close to it, so I stopped, and I looked down, and there was Earth. So, I came down so pretty on my feet. It was awesome. But the thing I'm getting to is, when I was up and I was looking at Earth, from the moon's perspective, I didn't see no stars. I had seen no stars. There was no stars in the night sky. Like it's our atmosphere that gives us a mirror image of the stars so we can see them at all. Like that's the reason why we might see the stars, is because our atmosphere is like a mirror that reflects the light so we can see them. And really, there's more satellites in the sky than stars. And sometimes satellites get confused with stars. But really, stars are blue and satellites are yellow. If you look up in the sky and you see a yellow light, that's probably a satellite. You see a blue light, that's probably a star. But, I don't know. I just wanted to get this shit off my chest. I feel good. I feel good now. I feel like there's some stuff I'm leaving out. But I don't want to leave out nothing. I want to do this right. I don't know. And I have dreams too, bro. Like, I have dreams. Like, there's this girl, like, I really got the hots for, and she's way younger than me. But she's in her 20s, but she's way younger than me, and she probably would never have nothing to do with me anyway. And I don't know. I honestly think she's awesome. Even though she's a stuck-up little bitch. And people say, hey, it's a new day of age, guys. We talk like this. It's a new day of age. But I believe in God, and God alone. And Jesus, I believe there was truth in Jesus. Like maybe Jesus, like something happened which made the story go off like that. Because really, the book wasn't even written. The book was handed down, and and a lady told me that, I don't know if it was the Vatican that tried to steal all the Bibles, King James version of the Bibles, from the Irish or something. And they tried to steal they got every Bible besides one. And that's why we say, thank our lucky stars, or some shit like that. I can't remember what she said, but it made perfect sense. But and another thing, when we're in an altered state of mind, from drugs, from drinking, from whatever you do, is that reality, or is the reality we live when we're sober reality, or is the reality that we should see is when we're fucked up? I mean, I don't understand that either. And I think what you believe in your head, you will see. Like, if a bunch of people believed that, this was the end of the world, it would probably end up being the end of the world. Because belief is strong. Belief can make shit happen. If you put all your belief in one person, I think you could probably have magic powers and shit. It's weird, but he has to be chosen by God. I'd have to think, to be able to do shit like that. And Jesus, he said he was Son of Man. I've heard him say that in I have a Bible that is underlined and read everything Jesus said. And he said, I am Son of Man, or some shit. And the only thing that means is you're a human being. You're a fucking human being. You're the Son of Man. You're a fucking human being. I'm not no God. I'm a human being. Why do I have to turn this water into wine? I don't have to prove my shit to nobody. So yeah, fuck off. I am who I am, and I don't have to prove shit. And that's what Jesus did. But Jesus was killed by his own form of government. And he was the most hated person of his time. And that's why they crucified him. They really crucified him because they didn't want one man above the church. And so that's why he got crucified. But I don't know. I lost thought right there too. But and like, I don't understand that, man. Like, what if Jesus seen his own death? What if he seen that and he knew he had to die? Like, he knew he had to die, but he wasn't afraid to die. So he let them. They tortured him on the cross till they finally killed him, and then he went up. And then I know what happened, bruh. I have to tell you something. Okay, when they went into the fucking, they said when they went back to get Jesus' body or whatever, only thing left was the shroud of Turin or whatever it's called. Only thing left was the shroud, and they said it seemed like he went up in a flash of light because it left an imprint on the shroud itself, and a shroud is just a blanket like they put over Jesus, but it left his imprint like almost like a picture, like he was taken out in a flash. Well, really what happened was he reunited with his body. His soul reunited with his body. And the thing is, I seen the same thing. And I was watching the show and they were digging in this Egyptian pyramid. And they opened up and they got into a room that nobody's ever been in ever since the thing's been made and put in the thing, and they've never been in this room. Nobody ever has. But they go into the room and there's a sarcophagus, like a coffin. And they break it open. And only thing in there is wrappings and the shit that they stuff people's bodies with. And the wrappings that they wrap around the people. Well, the guy said the mummy must have evaporated. Bone does not evaporate. No, that motherfucker was a real god and got took up in a flash of light. And I've seen catastrophes too. Like I said, I had to take the windows out the house to get a cool breeze, and it wasn't cool. It was still smoldering hot. And the motherfucking daylight was not yellow. It was orange. That's why I remember that dream, because it scared me when I woke up. Like, if the sun ever dies off, it will throw orange daylight sooner or later. And I seen another one. I got sucked up. It was a gravitational catastrophe. I got the roof came off the house. I got sucked up into fucking outer space. And that's actually happened to me twice. And each time I grabbed the person next to me. And the first one I grabbed was Destiny. And in another dream, I took Zach with me. But the thing is, like, I don't know. It's weird. You guys, people gotta watch this. They gotta watch this. And what I was getting to, like, motherfucking Einstein said it's space-time. But how is it space-time? It has to be time-space. How do you have space without time? And how? Because the way I look at it, if you look at the Big Bang as a clock, from the very first nanosecond to the very last second it takes place after it's done forming, the thing you have to remember is that even in a millimeter, the nanosecond, a lot happens in a nanosecond. Like, the way I look at it is, you said, let there be light. Boom, there's the Big Bang that created everything. And that's the light. It passes the light throughout the galaxy, throughout the universe.